Hi, my name is Alyssa, and I like to watch movies, and today we are talking about Shelby Oaks. Written and directed by Chris Stuckman, who is pretty famous on YouTube for his film reviews, Shelby Oaks is his baby. It is his passion project. Literally with the help of his YouTube audience, i.e. you folks out there, he was able to raise enough money to make this feature a reality and put it on the festival circuit before it was picked up by Neon. But what is Shelby Oaks even about? I am so glad you asked. Shelby Oaks follows Mia as she tries to find her missing sister Riley, who is the host of a popular YouTube series called The Paranormal Paranoids. And I'm talking like early era YouTube, like 2008. What was popular on YouTube in 2008? I don't know. I wasn't really aware of how the internet worked in 2008, so you let me know what you were watching in 2008. I was well aware of Shelby Oaks before Neon picked it up, simply because I exist within this realm of like indie filmmaking thanks to my time over at No Film School. Also, one of the actors in the movie is a fantastic filmmaker, and I'm so honored to have interviewed her in the past for one of her projects. Emily Bennett. Look her up. But even despite like knowing that this movie existed, I didn't know too much about it until Neon started rolling out the marketing, and I said, oh, I am sat, I am seated, tell me more. The film's socials gave Shelby Oaks a pretty eerie found footage vibe, and there's even a website that's pretty reminiscent of the Blair Witch Project, which famously portrayed the events of the Blair Witch as real life and said that the cast behind the movie was actually dead. Did that have any real world issues? Yeah, no, it totally did. And the website is pretty cool. However, there is an area where they want an access code, and I don't have the access code, and no one's giving me this code, and I need help. So again, if you know the access code, let me know in the comments, please. And while you're down there, leave a like, maybe subscribe. I will say I have been a little let down by horror in this October spooky season. So I walked into the theater with the expectation that this would be an okay movie. And what I got was something unexpected. But what really happened at Shelby Oaks? Where is Riley Brennan? Well, let's talk about it. So this is the point where I tell you that I had bevies, hydrate and dihydrate. Tonight we're drinking Pacifico. This is also the point where I tell you that we are going to be breaking down the entire plot of Shelby Oaks. So if you do not want spoilers, girls, you need to leave. But if you would like my final thoughts on the movie, my final grade, you can always jump on and over there in the chapters below. We open with video footage of Riley Brennan telling us that she is terrified for her life. She is in a random house and things are going a bump in the night.
Did you guys hear that? I'm scared.
When she opens the door to investigate, something grabs her and the camera shuts off, only for us to cut to a talking head. Yes, we are in a documentary. We are shooting these scenes like we are making an ID episode, and once again, I love it. To do yourself a favor, watch an episode of any true crime show on ID and you'll be like, I love the structure of storytelling they have here. It is so formulaic. It is so like, let me turn off my brain and just melt for a minute. It's wonderful. But of this episode of Unsolved Mysteries, we are talking about the mysterious disappearance of Riley Brennan. And of course, you know, her co-stars in The Paranormal Paranoids. The last time anyone had ever saw Riley, she was filming an episode of The Paranormal Paranoids with their co-star, my god. The last time anybody saw Riley was when she was in the little town, the little ghost town of Shelby Oaks with her co-stars for the Paranoids. What a crazy name for a station. I'm not gonna say it correctly, and so I'm glad we don't have to after we find out what happens to her co-stars, which includes David, Peter, and Laura. Who are they? What are their personalities? We're never gonna find out, girls. I don't know what to tell you. The Paranoids are a pretty popular YouTube channel, and we are talking early days of 2008, and so I was under the impression that this entire movie was a period piece. But who is leading this documentary? Who is asking the question, where is Riley Brennan? Well, it's her sister, Mia. During her interview, Mia is just really distressed. She's like, it's been so hard. I don't know where my sister is. She's my only family left, and I love her. We also find out that, she can't have children. Yeah, okay, Mia, what does this have to do with your missing sister? But you know, I get it. Like, I can't be hard on her because that would impact anybody's life, especially if you're in a loving partnership. But you know, that's gonna only add fuel to the fire, I assume. So I mean, how's her partner taking it? Oh, he's declining an interview? Okay, cool. Yeah, I know, totally. That's totally normal. Remember how I was like, oh, Riley's co-stars are not all that important. They're really not, because we end up finding their dead bodies. Yeah. And it's pretty freaking gnarly, girls. And they died in some not so YouTube friendly ways. So I wish I could show you, but if you really want to see, go to the website. Also featured at the crime scene is a rune in blood. Every time I hear rune, all I can think about is Rune from Crescent City. Like, my mind is rotted by Sarah J. Maas. So we know that the co-stars are dead. There's runes. Riley is missing. And some more found footage shows that there was another person out the window watching Riley. It was planned. But there are no other leads, making this case colder than the Black Phone 2. Mia has been struggling with this, and as the documentary crew is wrapping up, there's a knock at the door. Hello? Mia opens the door to find some random man there, and he's like, she let me go. She finally let me be free. And then he ends his life. Bullet in the Brain by Tobias Wolff. This wild incident also sends us into a new visual language. We are no longer in the found footage realm, girlies. We are in cinema. While the sleek visual language is very much giving Mike Flanagan, I don't really love how we swapped over. I think it's kind of cool, but my brain was just like, I was really confused. We're essentially going from third person objective to third person limited, meaning rather than seeing different people's perspectives of the missing person's case, we're just seeing through one person's perspective of the entire story, and that one person is Mia. It all kind of just feels like small potatoes. It's like, why did we meet all these characters? Like, what is their purpose? Whatever, it doesn't matter, because one small potatoes is another person's dead man on a porch. And he just happens to have a little DV tape in his hand that reads, Shelby Oaks. Interesting. I also think I forgot to mention this, but Shelby Oaks is a ghost town that Riley ended up disappearing in. Mia takes the evidence without telling the police and is like, I'm gonna watch this while still covered in the dead man's blood. Girl, get a washcloth. Turns out that this is the missing footage that the police have been looking for from the second camera that the YouTube crew had for their vlogs. And you know what it reveals? That the man who ended his life on Mia's porch is the man who took Riley. And to make matters worse, there's something in the window watching Mia. No! When Mia goes outside to see what's looking at her from the second story window, she's like, okay, there's nothing there. I'm losing my mind. But then she goes, wait a minute, let me enter my mind palace and remember that my sister used to draw things from her nightmares and say that she used to see something from her second story window. What if parallels? What if there's a connection? As she digs through these old memories, her husband comes in and he's like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, what I'm gonna say is gonna sound so wild, so bonkers, but stay with me, all right? Mia then reveals to her husband that when she was younger, that she woke up and saw something staring at her through the window. And she said, I'm going to take this memory and I'm going to repress it, as all of us have done in the past. That's called trauma. And do you know how Robert responds to this information? He goes, you're crazy and you need to see some help. Sir? There's the door. You know what I hope for Robert? I really hope that he ends up opening a door to one of those AI dogs that just sprays water.
Hello there, sweetheart. What are you doing here?
Mia is like, cool, so I'm super isolated because no one believes me, and I still live in my parents' home that I grew up in because of why? Do not know, do not care, we never explore it, but let's keep moving forward. Mia says, it's time to do some research. It's time to make this a research movie. She goes to the local library and uses one of the cuntiest technologies that ever existed in cinema history, the microfilm reader. Guys, I want one so badly. While looking to the unsung hero of this film, Mia discovers that these little runes that were left at the crime scene are connected to an incubus. I love the concept of the incubus and the succubus because they're just like essentially demons in your nightmares that are also trying to seduce you. They're like, I hope you're having the worst time. What if we kissed? Mia also discovers that the man who ended his life on her porch was also a prisoner at this now shut down, also now rotted prison. Why did the prison shut down? Well, girls, I hate to tell you, there was a prison riot where a ton of prisoners died. Mia wants more answers about this whole entire prison situation, so she goes to the former warden, and he knows nothing. Once again, police officers in horror movies are absolutely useless. Because Mia's husband does not believe her, she goes to the prison by herself in the middle of the night. She is at an abandoned, rotting prison looking into demons without telling a single soul. Yeah. Yeah. And guess what's at the prison? Guess what is at the prison? The incubus. And guys, let me just tell you this right here, right now. That incubus grabs a hellhound that was about to bite Mia's face, and he has a big, strong arm. And I said, okay, stop. He's giving Bat Boy, he's giving Cassian. If you know, once again, you know. Quick, give me some confusing editing that breaks the 180-degree rule. That confuses the brain and I don't know where to look. At this point in the movie, I'm frustrated by the visual language. I'm getting really annoyed by the CGI because it looks rough. And like, while I can look over the really crummy CGI of like the hellhounds and of the incubus, I'm having a really hard time understanding like the logic behind the characters' motives in this movie. I feel like we're just being pushed from scene to scene, and I don't understand what's actually motivating our characters to continue looking for Riley. I don't feel like I'm really along for the ride. I feel like I'm just being dragged against my will. And again, maybe that's part of the movie. Maybe that's the big brain move. It's like, you are possessed by an incubus. Congratulations. But like, I don't know, guys. I'm not having a fun time. But maybe finding Riley will give us some answers or like some coherency to this story. Let's go find out. After looking around the abandoned fairgrounds for a bit, Mia sees a hellhound and she's like, oop, I'm just gonna go this way real quick. But the problem is, she runs into a house that has a bunch of runes in the front yard. That's a sign, Mia. Get out of there. But then a woman steps out of the house. Now, who are you?
I'm the owner of this house.
Mia asks the woman if she's seen her sister around, and the woman's like, why don't you come inside for some cookies? And Mia says yes. Mia, no. Inside the house, things are rotting, like literally rotting to the core. And the woman who owns the house is like, oh, it's so hard to live alone. I'm just a girl. And then the floorboards from upstairs start creaking. And Mia's like, oh, I thought you lived alone. That's suspicious. But that is not enough for Mia to exit the house. I don't know what to tell you, Mia. You're making bad choices in your life. Mia wants to investigate that second floor, but she has to distract the woman. So she's like, hey, what if you got me that snack now? Nothing but love and light. I would love to eat your salty crackers. As the woman exits the room, Mia's about to go upstairs, but then she catches a glimmer of a black book. And she's like, I see a photo album and I have to flip through the pages. As Mia is flipping through the pages, she notices that the man looks a lot like the guy who ended his life on her porch. But then as you flip to the next page, there's Riley. Okay, interesting. Alright, and it looks like they're getting married. That's weird. And it looks like she's pregnant. Oh. And then she ended up having a miscarriage. Okay. All those runes we saw in front of the house are baby graves. And there's quite a few of them. And while I know that Riley is nearby, Mia, I'm so sorry. Get the police. Leave the house. Go somewhere else. She does text her husband Robert and is like, hey, call the police. I'm here at this house. It's scary. I think Riley is here. And she sends it off and he never texts her back. He never texts her back. We never get any confirmation about what's happening with Robert, if he's actually helping out his wife. And it's just kind of bonkers to me that this man exists in this movie. I'm like, please get him out of here. Spray him with a hose.
Are you lost?
The one pops back up and she's like, that Riley? She's a strong woman. And Mia's like, where is my sister? So casually, the woman pulls back the rug in the living room and then opens the cellar door and she's like, oh, she's just out here. Mia then follows the woman into the Evil Dead basement and finds her sister locked in a cage. Mia like releases her sister and they're about to escape when her sister's like, wait a minute, I gotta do something real quick, grabs a knife and runs upstairs. We need to exit the premises, please. Mia catches up with her sister on the second floor, and they're stopped in front of a door, and guess what we hear from the other side of the door? A baby crying. Okay, so she gave birth, alright. When you open the door, the old woman that we left in the basement is now in the room doing a ritual for the child, and she's like, hellhounds, protect the baby. Riley's like, I'm gonna stab this child, and tries to, but then she passes out because the woman's like, no. No. Mia is just there for the ride. She's like, I don't know what's happening. I am at Confused City Central. I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. The woman who is performing the ritual ends up like, I think just... I actually don't know what happens to her. But she like crawls over to the wall where she has a shrine to Riley and Mia and is like, ugh, and then dies. But you know what is nice? Problems are just solving themselves. And Mia's just there. I love a passive main character. It's so fun! Speaking of solving problems, we gotta wrap this movie up. And we're gonna wrap it up with ending the documentary. That's right, bookends. Mia is thrilled to have a baby in the house. She's like, yes, my sister is in a catatonic state. She's traumatized because she was in a prison for 12 years. And this is when I realized, guys, we're in the present day in this movie. It took me almost an hour and a half to find out where we are in this movie. I said this in my Letterboxd review, I need someone to draw out the timeline of this movie because I do not understand. The documentarian, who's played by Emily Bennett, once again, go check her out, is like, hey, you should really check in on your sister. Like, I think there's something weird and suspicious going on. Look into it, girly pop. And Mia's like, oh, you're so right. Let me go check on my sister and see how she's doing. And she walks into her sister's room to see Riley about to smother the baby to death. Mia is pissed today about the situation and starts to struggle over the pillow with her sister and accidentally pushes her out a window. Don't worry, Riley didn't die from falling out of the second story window. She dies when a bunch of hellhounds rip her apart because remember, the woman of the house blessed the baby to be protected by hellhounds. So anyone who was to bring harm to him would be torn apart by dogs. Mia looks down at her sister's torn up body and is like, wow, that's traumatizing. When her new husband, the incubus, shows up to comfort her. He gives her a little touch, reminding her that she has purpose in this life. And we end the film with Mia giving the camera one good scream, the Shelby Oaks. Folks, I wish I liked this movie a lot more than I did. I really believe that the ingredients for a good movie are there. I just don't think the final product tastes all that great. It really broke my brain in ways that are like irreparable? Is that the word? Yeah, we're gonna say it's the word. It doesn't help that the lore and the logic of this movie do not make sense. Like, I could not tell you why we were bringing the Omen into this world, why Mia needed to be the parent that takes care of the Omen, or like why Riley was the chosen one. I get that she's like a little bit clairvoyant, maybe, but like, they were groomed for this by the incubus. Where are their parents? Like, I'm not dense. I just don't understand why things are happening. And it also doesn't help that like the CGI breaks any sort of realism that this movie might even have to ground itself in horror. It's not really terrifying to see something and be like, oh, that's fake, got it. And the pacing is fine, the acting is good, but my goodness, I think the problem is both the direction and the script. I am so sorry. I don't think the story is strong enough to support the lore that it wants to explore, that it wants to establish, to this like bigger universe of mystery and the macabre or whatever. But nothing is justifying the actions of the characters, and so you're left more frustrated because you don't understand what's going on. And it's not like you don't understand in like a, oh my god, my mind, it's blowing up. It's more like a, this doesn't make any sense. And that kind of lessens the horror of what should be horrifying. And the result is a very ambitious film that is just bogged down by its rigid structure and reliance on conventional horror shock. If I were to recommend this movie to anybody, I would say watch the first 20 minutes and after the big shock, stop it there because it's a great movie at that point. Beyond that, it just gets really muddied. And I want to celebrate, you know, someone like pursuing their dream and making a movie, because making movies are hard. Like, this shows you no matter how much you love movies, like making a movie is a completely different beast. I couldn't do it, my god. I don't have like the goal or like the tenacity to do that. So like, props and kudos to Chris, because like, fantastic work, pursue your dreams, and he's doing it, especially with the support of his audience. Like, he is a self-made man, and like, love that for him. And I'll support anything he does because like, that's what you must do as someone who loves movies. And I think he has the ambition that can help him really fine-tune these skills, be that behind the camera or on the page, to make a pretty strong movie that's a little bit more cohesive and delivers on that fear that he wants to give us. And so while Shelby Oaks is not a great movie, it is still an important movie that like deserves to be celebrated. So with all this said, I'm gonna give Shelby Oaks a C+. But that's all I have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for sticking all the way till the end. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, give it a like. That really helps out the videos, and that also makes me feel really good about myself, believe it or not. You can also leave a comment down below about what you thought about Shelby Oaks. And if you're not subscribed, girl, what are you doing? Subscribe. You're here. You made it to the end. I know you like me. Now let's kiss. You can also follow me over on socials on TikTok, Letterboxd, Instagram. All of those links are in the description below. So until the next one, go and support your local theaters. And I'll see you later. Bye. I'm gonna try to chug this. It's like that much full, I can't chug, and so I'm gonna do something very embarrassing. All right, let's see. I love warm beer in the morning. It's also like 10:30 at night right now, so. All right, bye.